3 years ago tonight, the unthinkable happened. An Uber driver went on a shooting rampage in Kalamazoo, killing 6 people, injuring 2 others. The victims include a father and son, and 4 women out for a fun evening, catching a play and enjoying dinner together. Earlier this year, the gunman, Jason Dalton, was sentenced to life in prison with no chance for parole. Today, the man who helped put him there spoke with our Nina Desaro about what happened and the long journey to justice. She joins us now with more. Nina.
Nick, it was a long journey. It took 3 years to compile all of the evidence, witnesses, and testimony before the Kalamazoo County Prosecutor's Office was ready to go to trial. And then, right before the case was set to be heard, Dalton pleaded guilty.
We had reason to think that he was, wanting to put this behind him. Didn't necessarily want to go through what was going to be, a very high profile, everyone paying attention to trial.
Jeff Getting is the Kalamazoo County prosecutor. February 20th will always be a reminder for him.
You think that it's going to get better, and it does, right? But it never leaves me.
On this night 3 years ago, Uber driver Jason Dalton went on a shooting spree in the city of Kalamazoo.
Everybody had been put, it sounds like an exaggeration to say a state of panic, but it's not.
It began right before 6 p.m. He was arrested just before 1 a.m. the following morning.
Nobody wants to believe that someone is capable of making a decision to do something as horrible as what he did.
At that point, it was time for Getting and his team to gather the resources and the witnesses.
It was going to, cause the victims' families and their survivors to be on this roller coaster where there was going to be court event and then delay, and then court event and then delay.
During jury selection last month, Dalton changed his mind.
Guilty.
He would plead guilty, and there would be no trial.
To hear it described by those first responders, the officers on the scene, was going to be something that, people, you can't forget it once you hear it. You can't forget it once you see it. For them, I'm glad they didn't have to go through it.
Dalton was sentenced to life in prison without parole. However, Getting still has one request he hopes the man responsible for this mayhem will one day address.
What was going through your mind? Why did you do this? Why this victim? Why these families? Why this opportunity? It doesn't change what happened, and it will never make up in any way, shape, or form for what happened. But if you could give the victims an answer to that question, I think that's the human thing to do.
And there were many, many people impacted by this violence. Obviously the victims, the survivors and their families, but also the Kalamazoo community and those working with the victims. On Friday, you'll hear from the victim advocates that spent the last 3 years with these survivors, helping them get through one of the worst times of their life. Nick.
Nina, thank you very much. And this Friday,